Hello, my name is Muhammad Irfan, and I am from Group 1. We conducted experiment 3 and 4 last week. So, I'm going to briefly explain the objective of this experiment. Experiment 3 is to determine the friction factor in the pipes that have different surface, whether it's rough or smooth. And for experiment 4, we are going to determine the value of loss coefficient in fittings. We also want to observe the effect of flow rate on the value of loss coefficient and also the head loss. So this is the introduction. Basically, we use different flow rates, and these different flow rates will be going to determine the value of loss coefficient in experiment 4, and we also use different sizes, which is half inch and 1 inch, and these different sizes also have different surfaces, whether it is smooth surface or rough surface. We also, the multimeter in the pipes were connected to 4 components in experiment 4. We are going to measure the loss coefficient in the components of enlargement, sudden contraction, elbows, and also ball valve to measure the pressure drop. So theoretically, this is the theoretical background for head loss in pipes. Basically, head loss consists of major losses, which is the head loss through fittings, and minor losses. I'm sorry, the major losses, which is the head loss by frictional, and the minor losses that is the head loss through fittings. So this is all from me.
Hello, my name is Renisha. Now I'll explain on the procedures and the results and sample calculation. So for the startup procedures for the both experiment 3 and 4, they have the same procedures. So first, the inlet of the variable area flow meter was connected to an external pressurized supply. Then the inlet and outlet of the fluid were connected to a supply and drain. All the valves were opened except the one vent valve. Water supply was turned on and the water outlet valve was closed slightly. Vent valve was opened to allow air to escape until the water started to flow through the valve, and then the valve was closed. So the center spindle was pressed down to allow the air to escape. Then the angle seat valve was closed and the ball valve on the line containing the component required for the test was closed. Then the flow rate was adjusted to 800. So both the startup process is the same. Now, moving on to second experiment, which is water manometer. The The two inlet pipes of the manometer were connected to the inlet and outlet of half-inch smooth surface pipe, and all the other procedures were followed. Then continue with the roughened pipe, where the is connected to half-inch roughened pipe, and the procedure from the previous water manometer was followed, was repeated. So for the experiment 4, the startup process is the same. The angle seat valve was fully open. The manometer inlet pipes were connected to measure the pressure drop. The steps 2 to 8 from the water manometer procedure was repeated again, and the is repeated for sudden contraction elbow for 600, 400 and 800. The ball valve was open to fully open and the angle valve was fully closed. The manometer inlet pipes were connected to measure the pressure drop across the ball valve, and the step 4 was repeated. Then this is the results of experiment 3. The table 1 shows the friction factor of different pipe size. The table 2 shows the friction factor for different water flow rate. For the first table, we took the smooth water flow rate on the smooth pipe and the internal diameter for both a half inch and 1 inch. Then the table 3 shows the friction vector between the smooth and rough pipe of a half-inch pipe. Then this is the results of experiment 4, which shows the loss coefficient for pipe fitting, and the components are sudden enlargement, sudden contraction, elbow, and fully open ball valve. So these are the sample calculation for friction factor and the percentage error. For the flow rate, we times the flow rate in liter per hour we convert it to meter cube per second. Then we calculate the fluid velocity area using the flow rate over area, and we find the fluid velocity. Then we insert it in the FD formula, which is friction factor. We get the 0.019 for 600 liter per hour. So for the percentage error, the experimental value minus with the theoretical, or theoretical times by 100 to get the percentage error. The same goes to the simple calculation on the loss coefficient in pipe fitting and percentage error. So we found the area first, then the flow rate. To find the velocity, it is flow rate over area, and the loss coefficient using the formula KL equals to HL 2G over velocity squared. Then the percentage error with the same formula, experimental value minus with the theoretical value over the theoretical value times by 100.
Okay, so for the first experiment at constant flow of 300 liter per hour, we noticed that the smaller diameter has a smaller friction factor, and the larger diameter has a larger friction factor. Because as the diameter becomes bigger, the friction factor becomes bigger as well, as the velocity becomes slower. Okay. Then for the second table, we notice that as the flow rate increases, the friction factors increase as well. But this is always Darcy Weber equation, as supposedly the friction factors will decrease at the increasing flow rate and increasing velocity. Okay, and the flow is 1000 liter per hour. For rough pipe, we get 0.072, and for smooth pipe, 0.026. So according to Darcy Weber, the friction factor is very proportional to velocity. So the decrease in roughness also translates to a decrease in friction factor. Therefore, roughness will have an effect on friction factor. The more rough you are, the higher friction factor. Okay, so for experiment 4, based on the result, we noticed that experiment we noticed that the value obtained is largely different from the literature value because of the air bubble trap inside, the leakage from the non-fully closed valve, and like yeah, and the loss coefficient for them is displayed in the slide below. And then when the sun arrangement, the velocity increases while the sun arrangement velocity decreases. These two factors will affect the friction factor. For sudden arrangement, the friction factor decreases, while the sudden contraction, the friction factor increases. Experiment as slowly increases, the minor loss coefficient value change as well. This isn't doesn't obey this literature because according to literature, the value of minor coefficient is independent for velocity. Because due to burning principle, the ratio between potential flow and energy in fluid system is no relationship with the loss coefficient Ks. Burning principle does not equal energy loss. Okay, and the flow rate of 400 liter per hour for sudden detachment loss coefficient 0.53, 0.49. Great. Okay, so for literature value, all the KL factor remain constant, but for us, there was a percentage error because of air bubble inside flow system, water manometer that could affect the accuracy of data obtained. Okay, as conclusion, in the future factor experiment, fish factor was most perfect at the flow rate of 600 liter per hour and liter per hour, 1000 liter per hour at 0.019, 0.021, 0.23 facility. Fish factor for upper survey at the flow rate of 600 liter is 0.072, 0.79, 0.124. Then rate of high survey increases, besides the higher the flow rate, the negative shift factor. The higher the flow rate, the smaller the friction factor. Deviation of friction factor from theoretical value goes the favor range from 7 to 7.5% to 31.5%. But deviation of reference rate is 44.7% to 143.90%. Friction factor decrease with higher flow rate, increase with larger pipe diameter and more severe roughness. For minor flow in pipe and fitting, here is the value obtained. Theoretically, we can see that loss coefficient depends on the flow rate, however, swing dependent geometry component and free properties. The division of the arrangements are the potential for error fully open bar with the highly expected error occurring in the experiment.
Recommendation: we need to ensure the fitting are more close to the well water flowing throughout the pipe. We need to remove air bubble before taking the reading to minimize the error reading millimeter. We use pure water to avoid from build up impurities and third, in parts of the head valve can be minimized.